Let's start with some highlights from that year. Remember back in January when a handful of states attempted to keep Donald Trump off the ballot, claiming that he had participated in an insurrection simply because they called the January 6th demonstration an insurrection. They seemed to ignore then President Trump's admonition to the crowd to peacefully and patriotically demonstrate their displeasure with how the election was conducted. Maine showed their general ignorance of the Constitution and their willingness to throw away the Republic as they attempted to join the Interstate Compact to elect the President of the United States by national popular vote. As usual, the Supreme Court handled several cases worth remembering. One of the most memorable was Trump versus United States, when Donald Trump claimed presidential immunity in an attempt to counter the questionable legal charges against him. In this case, the Supreme Court noted that there is not a presidential immunity clause in the Constitution, then claimed that the president did have some limited immunity. If that confuses you, that's probably a good thing. There were several cases that restricted the overreach of federal agencies. In Louisiana et al. V. U.S. Department of Energy, the court found that the Department of Energy did not have the statutory authority to regulate water usage in whatever way they wanted. Then there was a case of USDA versus Kurtz, where the question of sovereign immunity was brought before the court. This was followed by Loper Bright Enterprises et al. V. Raimondo, Secretary of Commerce et al., where the court overturned a 40-year precedent known as the Chevron Doctrine that illegally granted deference to executive agencies in direct opposition to federal law. And let's not forget Security and Exchange Commission versus Jarsky et al., where the court said the SEC could not use their administrative courts to deprive people of their right to a trial by jury. Not only did Congress continue to spend millions of dollars they did not have, but some of their acts are worthy of remembering. We had the CHIPS Act, which spent billions of dollars to help redirect chip manufacturers to build new plants while they then shut down others. Then there was a TikTok ban. Did Congress have the authority to tell private companies what apps they could provide on their equipment? Was there a better way to deal with people's concerns about communist Chinese control of that platform? Then there was House Amendment 876, a proposed amendment to the infamous Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. Some claim that this amendment to enforce the Constitution's protections against unreasonable search and seizure is itself unconstitutional, a position apparently held by President Biden. Oh, and let's not forget the political investigations held in both houses. Then there was Joe Biden's pardon of Hunter Biden. I put pardon in quotes because while part of the document is a pardon of Mr. Biden's son for crimes he was guilty of, there was some controversy over the expansion into what should be called grants of immunity for crimes he may have committed. Don't let that distract you from the hundreds of billions of dollars sent to Ukraine to help them fight their war against Russia and pushing the transgender agenda on our schools.